Mind, body, soul, check 1, 2. What's happening? I'm in my zone. I've got my brother here with me. And today we're going to be discussing everything from weight loss, weight gain. He's come to share his experience and his knowledge on fitness. And when I first met this brother, it was through Instagram, and his fitness stuff was inspiring, motivating, you know what I'm saying? And he was doing it in such a fly away, you know what I'm saying? You got the melanin book there. You know what I'm saying? This is what it's about. That's what it's about. And so I kind of knew from then, oh, we got to link up. We got to do some bits. We got to do some bits. So I'm just excited to have him here, man. Welcome Dexter to the podcast, man.
Thank you for welcoming me. Thank you. And hello, everybody. And thank you for having me. I'm here to happily answer whatever you have to ask for me
For
and share
sure.
my story.
For sure, man. Where did you tell the people about yourself? Where did you grow up? Where are you from originally?
Born in Grenada and grew up my childhood in Grenada, then came over here, did my studies in England. And then
Amazing.
after university, I decided I wanted to go back and live in Grenada. So after university, I went back and lived in Grenada for 6 years. So my 20s was all in Grenada, and then
Okay.
and then I decided to come back to England to further increase my finances and just develop my. I don't like being stagnant. I like progress. I
Even
like
like I
being
said, to increase
constant.
my finances. I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
Because you got to. You got to. What did you
have
study
to.
in
When I
school?
could have.
What did you
So what I
study?
studied in school is actually I studied network management, IT.
Oh
So
yeah. I remember you saying
whole
that as
different.
well. You're doing IT for a minute.
It's a whole different. But since young, so I've always had that mindset where I've always like it's not like I'm constantly wanting to learn, constantly trying to question things. I've always
Right.
had the intuition, the like a deep intuition in me that knows there's more to what has been
Yeah.
taught in school. There's more to what is present in life. So I've always had that searching mindset where I just want to keep on learning, keep wanting to learn more and more, and dive deeper into certain subjects. And for me,
Okay.
where I actually jumped into health and fitness. So my father passed away
Mm,
16 years ago from
mm.
diabetes,
Oh
and
yeah.
when I moved to Grenada, health and fitness just started to like it was just a calling to me, like it just
Mm.
out of the blue. Like I just started to have this massive, deep passion in trying to learn everything I can, but not the way the Western tries teaches it.
Okay. Break it down. Break it down. How are you approaching the subject?
So yeah, I started to look at it holistically on a
Okay.
whole. So so
Okay.
so yeah, I'll start to learn from all ancient cultures, all even our own culture first.
Yeah, for
We
sure.
always tend to look at the American or the English way of things,
Yeah.
but we'll never look at our own culture of how we
Yeah.
understand
True.
our health.
That's
So
true.
but don't get me wrong, I still went when I came. So my journey, I'm going back and forth. When I came back to England, I
Yeah.
went and actually did the nutrition course to actually learn the Western way of nutrition, learn the
Okay.
Western way of fitness. So I have that ground understanding of the Western knowledge on the whole
Yeah.
subject. But I could then put two and two together to see how it correlates with the ancient,
Yes.
our Black people's knowledge, and also
Yes.
some come together and the differences and how it works for us and the differences of what's missing from theirs for us as well. So
Okay, so what were some of the things that when you first started studying the Western way, what some of the obvious differences that stood out to you when it came to holistic versus modern? What was some of
yeah,
the stuff that stood out that you're like, nah, this don't make no sense?
clearly their food palette isn't made for us. So
Okay,
we
so
had,
first it was
we
that.
had so yeah, and I'm sure you have many
Of
knowledge on
course.
this. You even talked about this. We need to eat for our genetics. Our we as Black people eat a
Mm.
certain. Our ancestry eat a certain way. This, if you can do all the research, all the stats is there. We as Black people are lactose intolerant. We're not meant to have dairy. So when we learn the Western standards of the eat well plate, and it has dairy in that in the standards of eating well, that's going
Mm.
against us as Black people. If we follow that to the standards, then we realize that if we follow the standards to eat well, we're actually putting our health at detrimental because dairy is not meant to be in our diet. dairy causes majority of issue within Black people's culture.
Break that down more. I want us to break this decipher this, because this is some really good stuff that we're getting into, and this is why I was like, I need to get Dexter to talk to him, because it's always beautiful when I get other people that are nutritionists that know what's up. It's easier. So I want to unpack that. What has been the big deal with dairy from your perspective that Black people are not supposed to have?
Yeah, we don't have the enzyme to break down the lactose within dairy, and it causes mucus within us. It builds up whenever we intake dairy. It creates a lot of mucus, and the mucus, as we know, creates a lot of deficiencies and a lot of problems in the body. So we end up having stomach cramps. We end up having indigestion problems. We end up having with a lot of, with me personally, I would break up in spots, and I would break up in certain, and with certain things. And I realized by cutting out dairy, because I would realize, why am I constantly breaking out spots? I was reaching in my late 20s and so on, and I'm like, I'm a big man and I'm still breaking out spots. This should be right. It's the hormone imbalances. It caused a whole lot of hormone imbalances for me to constantly keep breaking out in spots and so on.
So with the enzymes to break down dairy, so let's say for the people that out there that study nutrition, when they say the enzymes to break down dairy, so what would be the enzyme that Black people don't have that you think white people have to break down dairy?
I'm trying to remember the exact name.
It's not lactase, is it? Is it lactase?
Yeah, it's lactase. It's something like that.
Because basically all enzymes have an A's at the end.
Yeah,
most
A's.
Enzymes have an A's at the end, so it might be lactase. If there is such a thing.
I'm gonna
Google it. Because I want people to, because really one thing I'm really looking forward to is that we get a chance to open up our knowledge and question some things, because it's very important for us to all do that. Because like you said, my studies has also led me to understand that people from sub-Saharan Africa, the Caribbean and stuff like that don't possess lactase.
Lactase is just lactase.
Sorry. I'm pronouncing it wrong.
It was lactase, yeah.
But it's epigenetics not the reason why we can adapt, because some people can adapt to things. So it's just really epigenetics that's making people adapt, because obviously if you don't adapt, you die, because that's how evolution teaches you, adaptation or die. So what we're really talking about is saying that our natural, when we strip down to our basic biology, having dairy does not work for us. So that's when you talk about outbreaks and all these kind of things, stomach cramps and all these kind of things. And in fact, when people are diabetic and stuff like that, they've told me that they start to drop out dairy was one of the things that they did on their checklist. You know what I mean? Can you speak on that in terms of its relation in that sense?
Yeah, so again, it puts a stress on your pancreas and your liver as well. So of course, by putting stress on the liver, a lot of people forget the liver plays a massive role in diabetes.
Yeah, people don't really speak about the liver, they just focus on the pancreas. But for people that don't know as well, Dexter this is what he does for a job. Actually, before we even say that, remind people what you do, or say what you do if we haven't mentioned it.
Yeah, so I'm an occupational health advisor for Network Creole.
In case you're wondering where this guy's pulling all this information, like this is what he does for a living. So trust me. Yeah. So break it down.
I took it upon myself to learn as much as I can on health, even because even within my job, I'm not even allowed to talk about all these stuff.
Certain things, yeah, you have to follow protocol. We know how it goes. When you're in the corporate system, you got to follow protocol and things of that nature.
But yeah, so, even when it comes to diabetes and so on, I have to stick on their protocol. Fair
enough. We understand. But at least for people that want to dig deep and learn more, speak about the link between the liver and diabetes, actually.
Yeah. So the how the liver literally causes, when your liver is toxic, it literally creates certain chemicals that literally cause you to be more prone to diabetes. I'm trying to remember the certain chemical. Only the other day I was speaking to someone about this, the exact chemical from the liver. But let me see if I could research it again.
You pull up. Pull up. We'll pull it up. So for the audio listeners that they can, because we're gonna get this right for you guys. We just have to get it, because we want everyone to be educated in this phase. What I would say as well about the liver is that people need to understand that the liver is a detoxification machine. It deals with all the poisons and toxins in the body. So imagine an organ that has to deal with so much toxins. If it fails, then everything is out the window. So the liver cannot afford to fail at all on any level. You know what I mean? Because also, bile is made in the liver and released by the gallbladder. Do you understand what I'm saying? And bile is necessary to break down fats and all these things that are linked
yeah,
to the pancreatic
you're
situation.
basically answering what I was about to speak.
So yeah, literally is in that vein. So for people just wondering, like, yeah, these things are all connected. So if you look at diabetic people, because that kind of gives us the best segue into actually our conversation for today, which is when people get diabetic, they add on weight.
Yeah.
They add on weight. And sometimes people have to be amputated. And I was speaking to in my previous episodes, I was speaking to Lyndon. Lyndon was type 2 diabetes, and he reversed his type 2 diabetes. And he was saying that every 26 seconds or something like that, a limb's been chopped off for diabetes. And I'm like, that's insane. 26 seconds. Like, you got, these are millions, this literally has to be hundreds of millions of people.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. So, and he was saying, you get pins and needles in your feet and stuff like that. And when you start feeling that, he's like, that's where the problem is, because now correct flow is not going to your feet. You know what I'm saying? Or going to your arm or wherever they're amputating. So, but one part of it as well is that people add on a lot of weight. Now, weight gain is such a massive thing in terms of our society. In the Western world, obesity is a massive problem, as we know. And people are just trying to combat how to manage weight. So when you have to deal with any client that's talking about weight loss, what kind of some of the advice you give?
Yeah, one of the major advice I always ask them, what's your lifestyle? How do you eat? And a lot of them will say, I eat healthy. I'm like,
everyone always gives you the edited version in it. I'm like, so why are you here then? Like, why? Because someone will come to me and they're like, yeah, no, I'm fine. I eat well. Then why are you here? Like, if you already eat well, you got to be more candid if you want help from nutritionists and if you want help from people that are skilled in this place. So for people listening out there, be honest with your dietitian or your nutrition, because you pulling up to a nutritionist knowing damn well you have to be there. You're not there because you eat great. That's not why a nutritionist come into play. Nutritionist come into play when you don't know how to, or you're not doing it. You know what I mean? So nutritionists are there to help you in that sense. So yeah, you ask people about their lifestyle. What else do you get into with them?
Yeah, so what I realize is a lot of the people they eat foods that constantly spike their insulin. And this is another topic I'm sure you'll go into more as well. Yeah. The foods that constantly spiking their insulin, and it's irregular patterns throughout the day. They're eating, so a lot of them's on shift work, because I work with the network real, so a lot of them is shift work. So they eat late at night. They eat all these different times.
Random times.
And as we know, I'm sure you can go into way more details than me about this. The circadian rhythm, if you don't follow that,
problems
in with your body, we're going to cause problems. You're not regulating your sugar levels within the body.
Absolutely.
By constantly spiking your sugar levels at different times, and not allowing and not working with your body systems to be able to regulate those sugar levels, it's going to store.
Yeah.
It's going to store, and you're not going to be able to burn those certain food energy that has energy.
You won't be able to. It's just going to store. That's true. People need to understand insulin is a fat storing hormone too. Even though it regulates blood level and blood sugar levels, it's also a fat storing hormone. Like Dexter was just saying, it's like basically if you don't use those excess sugars, they're going to be stored as fat. So actually weight loss is about the regulation of insulins. What's your thought then on calorie deficit?
So yeah. It plays a small, it's not as big as, so calorie deficit for me.
Yeah. We're speaking nothing but facts on this podcast, man. We ain't holding back for nothing. We are talking facts upon facts. So tell me what is really, really real with the calorie deficit trend, and when we see a lot of this flooding social media, what is just your genuine thought on it?
Yeah, so calorie deficit for me, like it plays a small part, but it's not the main equation for me for weight loss. Because
why is that? Give us a why. Why is that?
Because again, I can give you, and I'm only going by experience of what I've seen. Yeah. I've had people around me that would just eat one meal a day, but they're still not losing weight. They're still their body. So, and again, we know it's all to do with hormones, of how your body regulates food and how your body regulates energy within the body. So they're eating one food a day. They're definitely in a calorie deficit, but their body is not. They're not active for one. So their metabolism is very, very slow, because their thyroid might be under-regulated. So that one meal a day, it's actually causing the body to even try to even store more fat because it's
true. And that's true. What you're saying is true. There's people that I've met as well that eat once a day, and I don't wait. They're like, "How? I'm eating
Yeah.
once a day," and I'm like, "Yeah, because your metabolism
Mhm.
and how your body processes insulin, it might be
Yeah.
varied." This is why I tell people there's no one diet that
There's no one
matches everybody for weight loss. You just have to talk to people, personalize it,
understand. Yeah, you have to
and
understand.
get to understand the client and begin to just figure out what is your work schedule, what do you do on a weekend when you're out eating, if you're going to go eat out, what's your normal go-to's, because the more we can map out exactly what people are eating and why they're eating it, because also triggers, what have you learned from people's triggers when they want to eat, because a lot of people emotionally eat and boredom eat. What's your view on like their triggers? How do you help people when they talk about, bro, when I'm upset I eat, or when I comfort eat? What kind of advice do you normally tend to give?
I haven't gone really that deep on the emotional side I've just been more on the fitness and health side
Yeah,
of things. I really
cool.
want to
Yeah.
dive deeper on the emotional side, because I know that's one thing you talk way more about is on
Oh yeah, yeah.
the
Nutritional psychiatry is a massive field of study to let, because most of the food is psychological. Your hunger is regulated by the hypothalamus in the brain. So, like it's a we eat emotionally. That's what we do. You know what I mean? We
It releases the dopamine,
it
and
means
so
that's what we're after. You know,
that's
that's
it.
why
That's it.
when you're craving food, when you're emotionally eating, it's never a salad. Like your brain never says, "Let me go get salad" because I'm emotionally eating. It's gonna go for the most sugary,
Mhm.
greasy food it can find. Why? Because we need that spike in dopamine. We need to feel it now. We need that gratitude now. But in all actuality, what's this one? What's the book?
So the African holistic health, there's a
Yeah.
part in it that actually talks about certain food groups for certain emotions. Let me see if I
There
can
we go.
find
Let's
it.
call that some. Let's call that some for our listeners. What certain
Let me
food
see if
groups
I
for
can
certain
find it.
emotions?
Let's see if I could find it.
Because if we can find the happy foods, then we want to give people happiness and joy constantly. That's what we're about.
So if I could remember from the top of my head, like you eat like crunchy food for anger, you eat obviously
Yeah.
sweet food for love, for
Mm.
craving love. You eat chewy foods for anxiety. I'm trying to remember from the top of my head, but let me see if I could find it exactly in
Yeah.
the book.
We're definitely gonna find why he's looking for that. What I would advise people as well when it comes to eating emotionally, mindful eating is the counter to emotional eating, because emotionally eating is impulsive. It's something you just do when you're in the mood. But being able to regulate that is very, very, very important. You know what I mean? Being able to regulate that is very, very important. So when we don't regulate it, we see all sorts of issues. Do you understand what I'm saying? We see all sorts of issues when we don't regulate that. So it's very, very key that we understand that regulating our emotional attachment to food is everything.
What's when you're trying to find something?
You find it?
Let's see.
We're gonna find it for the people. We're gonna find you some happy foods to eat, and we're gonna let you guys know which foods to be taking, because the food is about. Had to put my charger in there real quick because of my batteries. But can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you loud and
There we
clear.
go. Nice, nice, nice,
Just
nice.
find it.
Yeah. So
Whenever
we're
you're
gonna
trying to
speak.
look.
So we're gonna talk about So yeah. So we're gonna also, because down the line also we're gonna talk about exactly what type of foods not only emotionally have emotional connection, but also what type of foods to avoid, especially when it comes to weight loss. Refined sugars is something to avoid.
Refined sugar is number one.
Refined
Yeah.
sugars,
Refined.
man. Like I know, even because this all relates to comfort eating, because as much as we love to eat all our favorite foods and it makes us feel great, and we feel this rush of dopamine every time we have that hot dog or that thing that you enjoy, whatever it may be, or donut or whatever. When it comes to weight loss, you're gonna have to let go of all of that. Like you can't
Of course.
afford to be having refined sugars and stuff like that if you're trying to weight loss. It's just not going to work. So you're gonna have to find your holy grail in fruits and veg, because that's the way forward. Because like we were mentioning, regulating insulin allows us to regulate weight gain, and insulin being a fat storing hormone, the less of it we have floating in the body, the less fat storing we're going to do. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's very important that we get a grip on that. You know what I'm saying? You found it?
This book has so much in it.
You know what I mean?
I'm still trying to find.
The big thick books. You
Uh,
know what I mean? The big thick books there. So what what also I would ask in the meantime, because you're gonna have to multitask that one. What I also
Of course,
ask in
I'm
the
up with that.
meantime is, what kind of diet do you think? Let's say, okay, let's assume there was an ultimate diet. What would that consist of for people? Imagine there was an ultimate diet. So this is hypothetical. There is no ultimate diet, people. So let me put that disclaimer there. But imagine there was an ultimate diet for weight loss, and you had to prescribe it. What would you put?
Hmm. All right, so it's low glycemic foods. So that's foods that don't spike heavily spike your sugar levels,
Right.
and food that feeds your nutritional value instead of
Yeah.
so there's food that would fill your stomach but not feed your body. And so you for example you have like the burgers and so on, you feel
Yeah.
like that's giving you feel like it's filling you, but it's not actually doing anything for your body.
Yeah,
It's
it's really
just
not.
filling your stomach.
Yeah,
So
literally that.
whereas if you eat a calorie dense food, not calorie, mineral and calorie dense food
Yeah.
that's healthy, then you'll feel more fulfilled, and you won't it won't be as detrimental to your to your body and your overall health.
And
So
your
yeah,
blood sugars.
yeah, blood sugar. So for me, I always say I when my older generation, they used to grow up on like the provision and so on, and they used to call it poor people food back in Grenada. Imagine
Oh,
that.
okay, for real.
Poor people. So
Right.
so they would call this the poor people food, but that food was the better food for us, the foods that you get
Right. Ain't
from
that funny? In Africa, it was the same thing. They will say it's poor people food, but
you're,
actually it was the
you're
better
breaking up
one.
again.
Am I
Hello,
breaking
can
up
you hear
again?
me?
Yeah, I could hear you. I could hear you. Can you hear me?
Your connection, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh
My
gosh,
connection. So
connection gone low.
connection's going low. Connection's going low. But we're gonna keep the conversation going. Missed the convers. Missed it. Admit. Wait. In the middle of the conversation, should we say? So what? While I trying to get Dexter back on. Ah, there we go. Dexter's back on. Yeah,
Yes.
the internet is hating on our conversation, man. Don't want us to get the information out to the people. But yeah,
No,
it's true. In Africa as well, the poor people food was the food that was actually good for us.
yeah, so we, as you know, they will call it ITIL, the food from the ground,
Ital is vital.
and they were the most nutrient dense food. They came because if okay, let me go even more philosophical and
Yeah,
more scientific into
please
it.
do.
The foods, the overall energy we need to get is from the sun as Black people. That is the
Yes.
overall energy.
Right.
We are another version of a plant.
Hmm.
We're just more
With way more complicated emotions.
way more complicated. The major energy we have to get is from the sun. The difference between a plant and us, their chlorophyll is they have the chlorophyll to be able to process the sun into the energy, whereas we have to process it, we have to have it secondary through the plants to come into our bodies through
Yeah,
minerals,
we can't photosynthesize basically.
photosynthesize. But at the end of the day, it's the sun's energy we need to be able
But
to.
we're working on it in the scientific realm. We're exploring the possibility of self photosynthesis in a different way because we learned that vitamin D3 processed in the kidneys and the liver can give us a strong immune boost. It can give us great bone density. It can give us,
Yep.
it can help with respiratory and other things as well. So further research on that is needed. But they've been talking about how human beings might need to self-sustain underneath the sun.
Let me give you another theory. I've
Yeah.
heard that back in the ancient time, the only difference between melanin and chlorophyll
Right. Right.
is the fact that melanin is so melanin does the exact same thing chlorophyll does.
Right.
It's just melanin is brown and chlorophyll is green. It's one compound. I think it's magnesium, and it's a certain compound within.
I thought it was copper.
It's copper, yeah, copper
I think copper.
within, and magnesium that's within the
Chlorophyll.
chlorophyll.
Yeah,
Yes,
magnesium
that's
is in the
the
middle of
only,
chlorophyll.
yeah. So
We will
that's
have like selenium or copper. Selenium will be a massive part for melanin as well. So it'd be, they have a magnesium in the front. We'll have, but funnily enough, when we did have higher density rich magnesium in our diet, there were stories from the Bushman in Senegal and Gambia. When I was out in Gambia in 2000, they were saying that the people will be like they'll start their color of their skin will almost from a distance appear super dark green.
yeah.
So even in the ancient Kemet, you see green pharaohs So make no mistake, there's a correlation there, but obviously more information is coming out regularly. So that's something that people are looking into, but everything's not what it seems. For the most part, melanin is something that's still evolving, and it's still something that we still study to this day. So whatever we know about it, it's still constantly changing and evolving. Can you imagine that?
There's so much to learn about it, but yeah, it's such a rich, and that relates us so closely to the plants that's on
Yeah,
this,
for
and that's
sure.
how we absorb the energy from the sun to be able to. So my whole point was that the
Yeah,
food we need to be eating are those rich earth grown electric foods that are grown in in rich soils that gets the most vitamins and minerals from the sun. So
sure.
these are foods that putting those foods into your body gives your body life
Yeah, true.
instead of eating dead foods that kills your cells and kills your body. You eat foods that give your body life, and it's basically electric foods.
Yeah, that's what Dr. Sebi used it as a
I know,
term.
I was
It's
about to
electric
say it,
foods.
Dr. Sabia. I know you don't
Yeah,
like
for sure.
names.
Nah, shots because do I tell people? I say, listen, I'm a massive fan of Dr. Sabi, Dr. Lila Africa, all these people who's put the foundation of thought into the conscious minds of the
There's just
people,
a lot more to it.
so we can further explore. You know what I mean? I have certain things I may disagree with, but for the most part, I try to find context, especially when it comes to Dr. Sabi, because like the alkaline diet.
Mhm. There's a lot more to it.
First of all, I'm just like, what is that? Because scientifically, what is an alkaline diet? Because in my mind, I'm like, yo, you can't alkalize your whole body. That's a ridiculous notion.
You need acid in certain parts of your
In
body.
certain parts of your body, you just need acid. It's just the way it is. There's nothing we can do about it. So I was talking to a good friend of mine. It's like, how do you interpret? I was talking to, do you know who Leo Marshall is?
No, I don't.
So Leo Marshall is a great brother, powerful, amazing work he does. He does the hidden knowledge and hidden science of like love, black loves, and all this stuff. You should check him out.
That them sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like he's dope. He's really on the money with some things, and we were just talking about it because we got some stuff that we collaborating on, and he was like, he. What do you think about it? Like the Dr. Savior, I'm like, you know what? I said, I'm a very massive fan, but there's a lot of context missing. So
Yeah.
when you tell people alkaline diet or a mucus diet, if we look at scientifically, a lot of the things he said cause mucus in the body, we have no actual hard scientific proof that it causes mucus
It's
per
true.
se. We have there's more when it comes to disease in the body, there's more evidence for oxidative stress and inflammation than there is mucus.
That's it.
You know what I mean? Because overall speaking, especially when alkaline diet, like whatever you eat won't change the pH of your blood. It has no bearings on the pH of your blood. So what really are we trying to alkalize here?
He was touching the surface. He was basically I guess he was just meaning the like plant rich foods.
That's what I thought. That's just how I took it. But people took it literally as in alkaline diet, alkaline water. I'm like, bro, I don't care how much alkaline and pH level your water is. It's going to be neutral the minute it hits that gastric acid. So I don't care if it's 9 or an 8. It's going to be neutral once it enters your body. Because what people need to understand is your body is a conversion artist. It converts things. Same thing with vitamin A. If you're plant-based and vegetarian, you're going to be vitamin A deficient for the most part because those beta carotenes have to be converted into vitamin A. So it's not like, oh, you're vegetarian or vegan and automatically, boom, the health lights come on. No, it don't work that way. You're going to have to learn to make the adjustment, you know? But for the alkaline diet, I think I just took it as in, okay, maybe he's talking about don't eat inflammatory foods, eat foods that are he calls mucus free. But I'm like, how many foods create mucus in your body? Fish and chicken, there's no evidence to suggest it creates mucus. You know what I'm saying? Very few foods, if anything, creates what you would call mucus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a lot of it is just about context and understanding what the master teacher was trying to teach because it doesn't take away from his brilliance.
But again, we need to realize he learned all of this himself. He didn't
He didn't go to school at all. Yeah, right. This is that innate education.
So yeah, as much as he had the foundation, he just couldn't expand on it because this was his personal knowledge. He just didn't have no academic knowledge to expand on it. So
absolutely, yeah, exactly. So you couldn't articulate in such a way that what our brain has been programmed to do from studying in the Western world. Oh Lord, you know what I mean? Can you hear me?
I could hear you.
Yeah, cool. So that's the only issue. So it's really about just giving people a proper, contextual argument towards why they need to understand the difference and what it means to be be on an alkaline diet or so forth, you know.
That's it.
What I would ask as well is that when how did you manage to stay fit during the lockdown? I know we spoke about this before, but for just for the listeners, how were you? Because you added on weight during the lockdown. A lot of people did. People didn't lose weight during lockdown. Everyone added on some weight. But how did you stay healthy? Because I know you were on your fitness thing heavy during the lockdown.
Helps a lot. You know, it really helps a lot. And I'm not gonna lie, it's the people you're
Yeah.
surrounded. I
Okay.
I have I have fitness people that I'm surrounded with. So
Yeah.
so the days that I'm not motivated, they are, and they'll push me to just do it.
Oh, see the
They're not.
company you keep.
So yeah, it's who you're surrounded with, and I'm surrounded by. Throughout the whole lockdown, I was surrounded
Yeah.
by my friend Marlon, G
Yeah.
Fitness.
Yeah, check out G Fitness if you don't know. Subscribe to his channel. Every time I try to do Marlon's workouts, I'm like, Marlon, we are all not breakdancers, bro. We can't be on these core positions, but I love it because he motivates me every day. So for what Dexter's saying is keep people around you that just motivate you and push you to be great. That's very important. Yeah.
And luckily, obviously, I had all my before the lockdown, I had all my weights and so on in a garage and so on. So luckily, when the lockdown
Just
happened,
went into the guy to blew the dust off that thing.
all rusted and so on. But
All rusty and that he's blowing the dust off was like my old friend. We meet again.
and yeah, just so the people that had surrounded me, we pushed each other, and it became such. And as we know, when you do something consistently, it becomes a habit to a point where
Yeah.
it's easy. So 21 days of doing something consistently becomes a habit.
Becomes a habit. That's dope.
Your body cues literally it just becomes automated to you. So I was
True.
doing this every single day throughout the lockdown that it became so. And another thing, so this lockdown now it's a bit harder than the first lockdown because I hate cold weather with a passion. So so that's a I have to fight even more to be able to
That
train.
is
The
funny.
first lockdown, when it was sunny and nice outside, I'm outside every single day.
See, but I find it harder though because when it's
I,
sunny, I don't want to be indoors. I don't want to be indoors when it's sunny.
yeah, I worked outside, so I train outside. That's it. All
Yeah.
my training is outside.
I want to be locked down in winter because I'm normally in home in winter anyway. I don't want to be locked down during summer. I want to be outdoors in summer. So I wasn't even mad at that. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, bruh.
Yeah, all my training are outdoors, so the training
Yeah.
for the summer was easy for me because I would set up all my weights and so on and all my stuff outdoors and for me I grew up in the Caribbean, so I love sun. I love training in the heat. I hate training.
Yeah.
My body becomes more stronger in the heat. I don't know how to explain it, and well, I understand if we get the energy from the sun, but my body
Right.
proves this point where when I was in Grenada or whenever I'm in the sun, I'm 100 times stronger. I'm 100 times more mentally focused. I'm just way more of who I am than when I'm in the
Yeah,
winter.
you're more connected to the natural the natural environment that you're in. You know what I mean? Places like Grenada, the soil is rich, the atmosphere is clean, you know, things of that nature. So it makes sense that when you're underneath the sun, you know, people need to understand as well, sunlight amplifies melanin.
That's it.
Period. It amplifies it. So you're gonna feel that natural strength of,
Yeah, my
you know,
gym
I'm in the
sessions
sun and stuff like that. So I
So yeah, my
definitely dig
gym
that.
sessions was way better in the summer. A lot of people say, I don't like training in the sun, it's too hot. Now for me, it was the opposite. I love training in the sun. I love training in the
I can
summer.
say training in the sun is too hot. You bugging out. You better love that. Training in the sun is amazing.
So
Being outside is
now
amazing.
that we're in this new second lockdown and so on, and it's freezing cold outside, I'm still trying to motivate myself going outside and do it. But my sessions are now 2 hour sessions like how they used to be in the summer. They're only half an
Okay.
hour. They're half an hour sessions
Trying to get back home.
because it's freezing out there. So I'll just do what I can and then get in. And all that I'm keeping in my head is I can't this I self motivate myself slightly.
Right.
So I'm like I can't let myself slack to gyms are not opening anytime soon. And
Mm.
I've worked so hard to reach because I used to be a skinny stick and I've worked so hard to reach where my body goal is and I need to reach even and I always have progressive I want to progress even more and get stronger and
Yeah, for sure.
physique and healthier. So to keep up this, I need to keep it going. Even if it's a half an hour or if it's whatever, it's better than not doing nothing at all. I can't make an excuse for myself or if it's too cold. Let me go do something little.
Yeah, at
I
least
know,
it's 30 minutes. Then at least you've done something rather than just fall into this habit of just not going out and working out. So you're right. I definitely understand.
I know I'm not lifting the heavy weights that I'm lifting in the gym. I know I'm not doing PBs or whatever, but at least I'm getting my body moving. That is the
That's
main
true. That's true.
Just little resistance on the body, keeping it going. And that's been keeping me going through this second lockdown until
Okay.
March comes back and it's warm again, and I go back fully back outside. Because
Yeah.
at this point, the way the government's going, I don't think gym is going to open for a while. So
Nah, at least March minimum.
yeah, so
At
we're
least
gonna
March minimum.
so yeah, we're gonna have to make the most out of our home workouts and so on. But what definitely helps, and I'll definitely recommend, what helps a lot with motivation is surround yourself with other people with the like-minded goal. It
True.
helps you so much. Right?
It's
And
true. It's true.
and then you'll realize that after them few days or few weeks of you finding it hard to motivate yourself, you're gonna
Right.
find
Right.
it becomes easy to you that you don't even need. You might even, your friend might not want to be up for it, but you'll be like, I'm ready. You'll be able to do it on your own because you've been doing it every day, and your body becomes used to this becoming a norm for you.
No, it's true. It makes sense. I think getting used to working out is a very, very key factor. Being able to get up and even do 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and that's part of the weight loss conversation we're having is like, look, if you're dedicated to get your body goals, you're gonna have to do some work. There is no flat tummy tea and all this crap and all this stuff that they're selling you and marketing towards you. Do the work. It's simple as that. There's nothing in holistic health that is a shortcut. This is why pharmaceutical companies and surgeons will make all the money, because everyone that wants a shortcut will go to them to do a tummy tuck, or go get this tea or this quick way of doing it. It is about a lifestyle. You're going to have to become healthier in the decisions you make with your food, with your workout. Make sure you rest,
And the
and
biggest
that will help.
excuse, the biggest excuse I heard for, like, you could hear from anyone, I don't have the time. That's the biggest
Oh,
excuse
that's the massive one. I
because
don't have the time.
because it's all about your priorities. It's how you
Put it
prioritize.
this way as well. Think about it. When people say they don't have time, I was like, it's funny you have time to be unhealthy. How is it that you find time to be unhealthy?
It's true.
You know what I mean? People, anytime my clients say, I found some not have enough time, it's hilarious that you still have time to be unhealthy though. You
Because
know what I mean?
it takes a lot of time to be unhealthy. It takes
Yeah, because you stop at that KFC, you stop at that, you find the commitment to stop at the KFC, the McDonald's, and you make the commitment to eat snacks and It's about where you put your priorities, like you were saying. It's about where you commit yourself. If you commit yourself to healthy living, you'll get the benefits of that. And that's what it's about. We're trying to extend people's lives out here so people can live their best life, and that's the whole point about, even if you want to build muscle or lose weight, understand, don't lose weight for just an event or something like that.
it's
Just
a
be
life.
healthy. Yeah, it's a lifestyle. Be healthy, and weight loss will become part of it if that's what your body needs to do to put you in health. If your body needs to make you add on some weight so you can be healthy, that's what the body will do. It's about naturopathic health. And if you follow naturopathic health, you don't dictate to the body what to do. You just do what the body needs you to do. There's a difference. You know what I mean? We need to convert ourselves. And this is a good saying because I read it somewhere and I was like, that's what the saying is. It's like you got to convert yourself from a ecosystem to an ecosystem,
That's it.
and create a lifestyle that is managed. Like something you said earlier, that's very, very key. Keep people around you that motivate your health. Um, Find groups, go into groups or somewhere on Instagram, find out someone else who feels exactly how you feel and work out with them.
Yeah,
You
work
know what I
out.
mean?
And then
And because someone just sometimes people just need people to hold them accountable.
yeah, accountable. I was about to say that.
Yeah,
Accountable.
some people just need someone to hold them accountable. So it doesn't have to literally be anybody. You could just find a group of people or somebody online and say, go to a fitness group and say, okay, online, just type in Google fitness groups, weight loss groups. You'll see like they'll come up by the millions
Yeah.
on Facebook or Instagram or something like that, and just join them and then, you know, get involved. And then you find out there's people on there that are on the same journey as you, and they're even far back than where you are even. You know what I mean? Because when you start those journey, you think, oh, I've got a mountain to climb. Everyone is ahead of me. But actually, there's a lot of people that are behind you too.
And what I realize is when a lot of people don't realize the progress they does make because they don't progress it. They don't take pictures of their progress, or they don't.
Yeah, they should. People should take pictures of their progress, definitely.
So they would have done maybe say like a few months, and then they feel they haven't got anywhere. But when actually they've gotten a long way from when they first started, and they will mentally give up because they feel like they haven't got anywhere, but because they're not actually comparing it to where they first started. So
Yeah, it's true.
what
You gotta self-motivate yourself.
yeah, so when you actually see your progression, that in itself, it's like a release to the brain to like, wow, like, I've done this, and
Yeah, encourages you more.
it encourages you more to.
Encourages you more. No, it's true. Encourage yourself, and those little wins, take them, because sometimes people are so hard on themselves. You can't be hard on yourself. You can only take your process and amplify it to the best of your ability. So if you don't lose the weight that you want, don't kill yourself about it. Don't, talk bad about yourself and put yourself down.
Mhm.
Just, track what you've been eating, track your workout, just make the adjustments where you see fit,
That's it.
and then go back at it again. You know what I
One
mean?
thing it's not a straight, easy road. There's always
Nah,
back and forward and back and forward, and you'll go
nah,
back
it
down,
is,
back up,
man.
and then
It
back down,
is.
back up. Like for me, like my whole thing was aiming to just get bigger and bigger. Now I've reached a stage where it's not about just getting big for me. It's just about being healthy and feeling
Feeling good, right?
aesthetically good. So as long
Mm.
as I'm aesthetically good for my size, then I'm happy. Before the aim was just to get massive. That was just the aim, because I was so skinny like that. Was just the aim. But then I realized no, I was just overeating for no reason. Like I was eating five
Yeah.
meals a day. Now I've actually cut it down to. I've heard that you told me you eat 1 meal a day, and now I've been recently doing just 1-2 meals a day, and I'm still feeling fine. I feel fully satisfied and
Yeah, work, especially when you're working out and lifting. People don't understand that intermittent fasting protects muscle.
Mhm.
Protects muscle. So people that, if for anyone out there that's working out that thinks, oh, if I go into intermittent fasting and things of that nature, and intermittent fasting is just when you calorie restrict at sporadic times throughout the day, and you hold a 8-hour eating window from 12 midday to 8 p.m. It's called a 16-8 method, but there's different methods of intermittent fasting. But
been doing that.
intermittently means instead of doing a dry fast or a liquid fast throughout the whole time, you're saying I'll fast for 16 hours, 18 hours, 20 hours, and have a small hour window, you know what I mean, to feed.
That makes
But
sense.
one of the biggest research about that is that if intermittent fasting, because naturally when you hear fast, you think I'm starving myself.
Yes.
I'm gonna lose muscle mass, because I know it is when you go to the gym. Yeah,
Yeah.
for people who don't know, when I used to go to the gym, I realized the gym, I call it gym possession.
Mhm.
Gym possession is, it puts you in a place of obsession
Yeah.
about how you physically look, and it can be dangerous as well, because
That happened to me.
I remember going to the gym, and it happens to me all the time. Like I'll go to the gym a month, let's say, because it always kicks in for me about a month. A month in, I'm checking myself more, trying to see if my clothes fit a certain way. I'm doing all of this stuff. I want to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and you go into that obsession of I just want to get bigger, because if I do this, I do that. But in actuality, intermittent fasting and things of this nature is better to be healthy than to look healthy.
That's it. That's it.
Will Smith was talking about, his iconic roles of like I Am Legend, I Robot, when he's just
Yeah.
muscly.
Uh-huh.
And he said he used to get headaches all the time. And
Nice.
he only learned, and this used to blow my mind. I'm like, you're a wisdom guru,
Mhm.
and we don't know everything.
We don't.
Obviously, we don't know everything, but
Exactly.
because he has a personal trainer and a dietitian and all that, I'm like, no one's told you about intermittent fasting.
It's mad, eh?
Like nobody mentioned it in your circle, because he mentioned about intermittent fasting and Terry Crews talked about intermittent fasting. I'm like, how do you not know this?
Yeah.
Because something you mentioned, that when you study the Western way of doing nutrition, there's a lot of things that's never mentioned. Even when people bodybuild, I always say when people bodybuild,
That whole fitness thing it is so much
yo, we
in it.
we we call it German engineering, because it's called Germanic engineering, because the whole point of bodybuilding comes from Germany.
Mhm. Yeah.
And the concept of tearing muscle to rebuild is Germanic. It's
Yeah.
a philosophy in Europe.
Yeah.
When you go to Grenada, Africa, and all these places, and you see these big dudes,
Mhm.
muscular
Yeah.
dudes, ain't lift one
Uh-huh.
bench press, ain't done one press up.
Mhm.
It's the food, the
Food
air,
that
the
you eat.
water, the
Yeah.
cleanliness. It's allowing those genes to express themselves in such a way where it allows their myostatin to increase, so they can build more muscle.
I've learned that recently. My body has been getting, and this is the thing, I'm eating way less than what I used to eat before. I'm
Right.
actually training less than what I used to before, but my body's looking aesthetically way better than what it used to be before. So
Wow, look at that. Look
it's
at that.
actually just changing what you eat and how you eat, and yeah, what I've obviously I incorporate a lot of herbs within
Yeah, your
my
supplement game is on point. Yeah, your herb and
I
supplement
have
game is
the
on
black
point.
seed oil. The black seed oil helped us. So black seed oil is such a powerful thing. That
Yeah,
in
black
itself.
seed oil. For people that don't know, go research about black seed oil. What does it do? So give the people some game.
So the black seed oil helps with weight loss. That's one of the major.
There we go. There we go.
One of the major points. It helps.
So
And do you know how it helps with weight loss?
nah, break it down.
it regulates your insulin levels. And what did we
There
say
you
about
go.
insulin?
Yeah, fat storing hormone. Yeah,
So
you're right.
if it regulates the insulin,
You're right. You're right.
that is basically the key to weight loss is regulating your insulin.
Insulin. That's all this is about, you know. Because when you read every book on weight loss and
Calorie deficit,
biochemistry,
calorie
it's all the
deficit,
same thing.
calorie deficit, calorie deficit.
Calorie
No,
deficit.
you could get in a calorie.
Insulin deficit is
Yeah,
where we need to change it
that
to.
is it. Yeah, insulin deficit.
Insulin deficit is what we really gotta focus on. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And that's really the main. And I'm loving the fact that a lot of doctors and scholars have backed that and say, listen, it's really about a hormonal change, because like we mentioned earlier on in this episode when we were talking about that, sometimes we have clients that just eat once a day and they're like, bro, I'm not losing weight. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? Because when I was a rookie, I'd be like, okay, cool, calorie deficit, let's go for it. Then I ran into trouble with one of my clients, and I was like, I can't make him lose weight. Why? He's damn near down to 1 meal a day. And then I realized, okay, hormones. So when I focused more on hormone regulators, I can make people add on weight. I can make them big, muscly, as I wanted, because it was all about hormones. Because once you increase HGH hormones, because that's what you're doing, because you're eating less, there's less insulin in your blood. When there's less insulin, you allow HGH hormones. So when you work out, you stimulate that. And when you intermittently fast, you stimulate HGH
So
hormones.
all of that as well.
Human growth hormones.
So that as well helps with the muscle growth, because
Yeah.
you're eating your intermittent fasting that allows the HGH
Yeah.
to increase in the body.
Yeah.
Your because you have more of that in the body, when
Absolutely.
you train, gonna be bigger. So you
You-
see how it works. You see how it works. Like you eat more.
Terry Crews was talking about it, and I told people, because people didn't believe me, like, bro, if I fast, I'm going to lose muscle mass. I'm like, no, you're not.
No. See, what people are
No, you're
getting
not.
confused with is size and muscle mass is two different things. You might
Okay, break that down. What's that?
So when you have a calorie surplus, you might look bigger, but that's not muscle gain. It's the fat. It's everything else. So you're bloated. You're massive.
Yeah.
But your actual muscle size within that, is to the maximum of what the HD
Human growth hormones. Yeah.
the human growth hormone could allow. So underneath all of that fat and so on, the muscles is the maximum it can grow.
Yeah.
So it could only grow to a certain amount of level
Yeah.
with the amount of hormones that it could allow. But on
Yeah.
top of that, you think you're bigger because you have all the fat and all of that on top of it. So obviously you want to look leaner, and you want to look, if all you care about is the leanness and the muscle growth and so on. And in the bodybuilding world, it's all about being lean. It's all about looking.
Yeah, you got to cut up.
You're better looking smaller, but aesthetically pleasing, than big and bulky. Big and bulky doesn't look good. You might be bigger, but you're not gonna look.
You got to cut up. It's about definition at the end of the day. Yeah, in those competitions, you got to look defined. That's what it's about.
As you said, by intermittent fasting, you allow the HGH hormone to be increased, so your body is not going to have as much fat on it, so you'll look smaller, but your muscle definition will be way bigger. You're way more leaner. Your body will actually start to look better than when you eat more. So by eating less, you actually look bigger.
Yeah, no, that's real. That's so real. And it's because people are used to the concept of, if I fast, I'm not eating as much, so I'm going to waste the weight. Like, no, man, like it's
all you're losing is the fat that you actually wanted to lose in the first place.
Because people don't know that. They just think they're losing muscle mass, but nah, it's not easy to lose muscle mass. It's not as simple as that. Because losing muscle mass takes time.
This is the mindset a lot of fitness people have. Let me bulk and get big and then cut. Why?
That's how they taught us, man. This is how I was taught. I was like, get big first and then cut.
You're gonna bulk to then. Why can't you just do it? It'll take longer, but it's better in the long run.
Yeah, for sure. People don't need to, rush to look. If you want to do things holistically and naturally, don't rush. Don't rush. Take your time. Your body needs time. You can't spend 20-something years, 30-something years, 40-something years bashing your body and then demand it change in a year.
I was about to say that. I was just about to say that. I was going to say it takes 30 years for you to reach to whatever
level you at. Yeah.
Level you're at. What makes you think it's going to take overnight to undo the 30 years that you've done?
Expectations, man. Managing expectations is very, very important, that we manage expectations, because And I think that's what, is people can't wait long. They want to feel good now. And that's what the trouble is. But if you don't take in your nutrients and you don't have those micro and macronutrients, then it won't make sense. I'd rather people be actually healthy than to worry about aesthetically how they look. Because trust me, there's bodybuilders that had to add on weight quickly for a film. Say an actor had to add on weight for a film. They put him on this ridiculous eat 7 meals a day and protein shake and protein shake. But I remember Will Smith was saying he had headaches the whole time he was shooting iRobot, and he was shredded like an action figure. And all he remembers is how much headaches he had the whole time filming.
That way, obviously, your body's telling you something, isn't
Your
it?
body's like, bro, we don't need none of this. You know what I'm saying? And God forbid you go and touch steroids and things of that nature, then you're really in the shit. You know what I mean? So you don't want to be able to do that.
You're just killing the liver.
What are give us some tips for people that are new to health and fitness and they want to bulk up? Give us some tips about bulking up.
So it's consistency. It's a long game. I've been doing this like for the last 6 years now. I was skinny as a stick, but a lot of people I've been the reason Dex, how you read so I've been consistent for the last 6 years. This word, people keep hearing this word consistent, but they don't stick to it.
Yeah, man, you have to be consistent.
They don't realize how powerful that word consistent means.
Yeah, true.
If you stay consistent, you will see results. And yeah, when it comes to the fitness side of things, I'd there you can go into so much in depth in the science of lifts and so on, but yeah, just stick to, you don't have to go and do all them loads just stick to the compound movements. Compound means exercise that utilize more than one exercise, multiple muscle groups. So your squats, your deadlifts, your bench press, those sort of lifts, those are the best ways of growing and getting stronger. So by doing that, stick to those lifts in the beginning. Eat well, eat healthily, eat the right foods, and you will see over time your body will, because with it's a stimulation of the training that allows your body to get bigger. It's eating. Once you eat correctly, you don't need to eat a whole load in surplus and so on. Just eat correctly.
Quality over quantity.
Eat correctly, and your body would utilize the minerals that you've eaten from those foods that you've worked hard in the gym and build the muscles to get stronger and bigger over time. That is it. It's consistent. They've scientifically proven in the fitness industry, but I don't know if this is one thing that fits all. Obviously,
right. Yeah.
They said a person could only grow about 1 kilogram of muscle a year. Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
But I don't know. I don't know if that's Caucasian or whatever. Obviously, we have different genetics. So our muscle definition and fibers are different. So we might grow differently. But if you're thinking to get massive in so quick, it won't. It's not going to happen. It takes years.
Consistency, like you said. The brother is speaking facts. You be consistent. Give yourself time. Let your body heal. Eat right. Exercise. Stay hydrated, please. Lord, drink water. Water is your best friend. You got to drink water, man. Water is your best friend. Stay hydrated, and make sure you just have a healthy relationship with food. That's very important. Don't just get carried away. Dexter, man, thank you so much for pulling up, King. Much love, brother. Where can people find you? What's the socials?
Just search my name, Dexter Ganpot, DexterGanpot. You can find me.
Ganpot. So that's the brother with the fade and long cane rolls. When you see him on Instagram, that's him right there. He's a model as well. Don't let him fool you. He's a model as well, and an intellect and just a good brother, man. To be honest,
I've been getting so much books and trying to learn more and more.
Nah, it's trust me. Like I tell people, read, man. Like expound your mind and learn about these things. It only sharpens you up, so you can.
Guess what part of health I've been delving way more into now? Understanding. Because we when it go into Welsh philosophy and so on, but understanding how sound plays a massive part in our health. Because everything is frequency, everything resonates in this universe. So understanding how different frequencies affects different parts of so I've been learning about the chakra system and the different frequencies for the different chakra. And if you don't have the chakras and the energies in your body aligned, that causes so many different health problems as well. So that's the part right now I'm trying to study and understand more and going deeper in, because holistic health is not just what you eat, it's mind, body, spirit, it's all
mind,
of that.
body, spirit. To be honest, good. You're reading that. By the time we do season 2 and we link up in
Oh yeah,
person,
now have a look.
I need to hear a lot about that because
Yeah,
that's biophysics and that's very important. That deals with the energy sector of health.
the energy.
So people that's been listening, Mind, Body, Soul Check, you've listened to another phenomenal episode with the Joe Dash Effect podcast. I want to thank my guest Dexter for pulling up and just dropping them gems, man, about from everything from weight loss, nutrition, and just what he's been studying and learning. You know what I mean? And his story. So follow him on Instagram at Dexter Ganpot and Twitter as well. It's the same thing on Twitter, on Facebook as well.
Everything.
Yeah, and on everything. So if you want to, if you're interested in fitness and that motivational fitness, and or you just want to dress up and look good, man. This man is a fashion icon, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's there flexing, so I'm loving the flex. So if you want to just fill up your network with people who inspire you, should just be the all you can be. You know what I mean? And that's what it's about. That's what I've done on my Instagram. So a massive part of this podcast is sharing my network with people and some of the great conversations that me and these brothers have. You know what I'm saying? So come season 2, you want to see me in person with Dexter and Marlon as well, because Marlon is a powerful brother, G Fitness as well. And these brothers are doing big things. In fact, for people who don't even understand, when we met on Instagram, I just linked to my yard. You know what I'm saying? And I remember putting Dexter to the side. I said, yo, Dex, like, bro, how you? He's like, energies, bro. He's like energy. He's an energy man. And I knew right there. I'm like, oh, this brother's deep. He's thinking is beyond just what the regular stuff we're looking at. And I'm always going to seek people who grow me in some way or the other. You know what I mean? And I really, really looked at that. And I was like, you know what? I need to embrace that kind of philosophy. So surround yourself with people that inspire you, motivate you, and are doing things outside of your comfort zone to help you grow. Because there's no comfort, there's no growth in comfort. You know what I mean? Any last advice for my weight loss listeners before we check out?
Um, yeah, jump on the black seed oil and CMOS, definitely. Definitely. Believe me, that'll make a massive difference to your life.
That's what's up. That's what's much love to everyone listening, checking in. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the Joe Dash Network. I'm going to be bringing much more content to dealing with health, spiritual health, physical health, mental health. So thank you, Dexter, for pulling up. Follow Dexter Ganpot on everything social medias if you want to know more about what his brother is doing. Support Black businesses. That's how we roll in this thing out. Peace, love, and light.
Thank you, brother.